All right, at first I'm going to start with where does the term Holy Day come from? Does anybody have any ideas? No ideas of where the term Holy Day comes from.
Celebration of saints and prophets and Jesus and God.
Okay, good. All right. I'll start off with the Ten Commandments. Does that give any hints?
Oh, Sunday.
Huh?
Well, the day that God rested, the Sabbath.
Exactly. Very good. That's excellent. So we're to observe the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. The seventh day is the Sabbath day of solemn rest, holy to the Lord. You all got this last week, I believe, right?
They got the smaller version.
Oh, okay.
Same
It's
book.
the same thing.
Same book.
Okay, this is the catechism. So I'm going to get a lot of this stuff from the catechism, so if you want to go into depth in here, you can. But I'm just reading a little bit since I don't have too much time. All right, so the Sabbath, which represented the completion of the first creation, has been replaced by Sunday, which recalls the new creation inaugurated by the resurrection of Christ. The church celebrates the day of Christ's resurrection on the 8th day. That's what they call it, Sunday, which is rightly the Lord's Day. Sunday is to be observed as the foremost holy day of obligation of the universal church. And when we talk about holy days of obligation, there are days that we are obliged to go. But as Monsignor Art used to say, it is a holy day of opportunity. So, and it is. It's just so wonderful to be able to go. And like Kyle said, you just feel like if you don't go, you just feel like you've missed out on something. So the church teaches that the faithful are to participate in Mass, because I can remember my Protestant family always saying to me, why do you have to do every single Sunday? You know, we don't have to do that. And is it really that necessary? And I said, you know, well, yes, we are obliged to go to church every Sunday. And I do remember one time a bunch of the family members, the girls were away on a vacation. And it was going to take I guess an hour to drive to the church, and then an hour back, would be 2 hours, and an hour at Mass. And so we only had one car. So when I scoped everything out in that whole area, and I told them, they're like, you have to go. And I said, well, in this case, since it would pose a hardship on everybody here, if something were to come up when we've got young people there, I'm not going to go and put that hardship on you, because if something were to happen, we're out in the wilderness and you need a car to get somewhere. So I will try to get to Mass possibly tomorrow on Monday when we get back, or do something during the week if possible, right, to make up for that Sunday. But I definitely will try to get there. So they were like, oh my goodness, that's incredible that you do that. Okay, so on Sundays and other days, that's where the faithful are bound. And we are supposed to, I know it's hard in this day and age, to abstain from labor and business concerns and things that would impede worship. It's just like I said, so hard these days, and then kids have games and things that people take them to, but if you could just at least set aside some time, you know, Saturday or Sunday, where you have that proper relaxation of your mind and body and can give to God in some way. So the institution of Sunday helps all to be allowed sufficient rest and leisure to cultivate their familial, cultural, social, and religious lives. And every Christian should avoid making unnecessary demands on others that would hinder them from observing the Lord's Day. That would be like if you had a private business or something. You try not to, if someone said, I would like to go to church on such and such day, then you try to make that available to them. So that's where the term comes from. Of course, it goes into much more depth. I just pretty much read the in brief parts, but it goes into much more of why we honor the Lord's Day. Let's see, what else did I have? For solemnities, we have the holy days, we have solemnities, we have memorials, at which I didn't even, let's see, talk about, or it's not on the list as memorials, but let's see. First of all, I'll start with solemnities. It's the highest rank of celebration, and it would be like Easter, Christmas, All Saints' Day, the Ascension, Corpus Christi, which means the body of Christ, and other celebrations of events in the Lord's life on earth, and certain saints are solemnities. And during that time, the Gloria and the Creed are always said on these feast days or solemnities. Solemnities are like Sundays, though most of them are not holy days of obligation. Easter is not simply one feast among others, but is the Feast of Feasts, the Solemnity of Solemnities. Just as the Eucharist is the sacrament of sacraments, we have 7 sacraments, and it's the greatest sacrament of all, so that ranks the first of all the sacraments. Feast days are the next rank down. They consist of celebration of certain saints, like the Feast of Archangels or most of the Apostles. The Gloria is required on these days, but not the Creed. The memorials are the lowest rank and are simply the celebration of most of the saints, and the Gloria is not said on those days. Obligatory memorials must be observed. Optional memorials, you don't have to be observed, but they can be. And that's where sometimes as a lector, I'll go in and I'll say to the priest, it's the feast of this saint today. And they'll say, no, we'll just do regular readings today. And they may bring into who the saint is and talk a little bit about it, but they don't make it a big deal of it. Let's put it that way. Let's see. What else did I So last week I talked about, let me tell you some other things, about the memorials of martyrs. There are the other saints that during the annual cycle, these martyrs, I think I talked about last week, they've suffered most of the time, they've been killed, and they're just to be glorified with Christ. So we kind of give them extra attention, I guess you would say. What else do I have? We had like a whole list from January to December of all the feasts, solemnities, and holy days. And all right, so say the very first one, the 1st of January, is Mary, Mother of the Lord. So that's also New Year's Day. So I have them here as listed in bold letters. And the asterisk denotes the ones that are in the United States. And I talked about how last time that the bishops kind of call to mind where you are, whatever archdiocese you're in, what day is going to be considered one that's a holy day of obligation. So say, let's see, All Saints' Day. If it doesn't fall on if it falls like on a Saturday or a Monday, they may not make that a holy day of obligation, and they will put it on to a Sunday. It's kind of, I don't know how to describe it, maybe a little obscure how these feast days are categorized, maybe. So let me see, the first Sunday after the full moon, after the vernal equinox, conventionally taken to be the 21st of March, would be the resurrection of the Lord, the Easter. So that is definitely, they have a certain date for that. And most of the time throughout the whole world, you're going to have, these dates are going to be the same. As I said, there are going to be some places, the different countries will celebrate different days, holy days of obligation, except for Sundays, which they all celebrate. The country with the fewest number of holy days of obligation seems to be Hong Kong, which has only one, Christmas. And Canada has two, Christmas and Mary, the Mother of God. And the United States has almost the most, 8 holy days of obligation, though 2 have been transferred to Sundays according to where you live. So, like I said, it's a little bewildering to figure all this out, but it's all listed in, you'll see it on calendars, the liturgical calendars, which are the most important ones. And certainly the church prepares you at Mass, to say this is the upcoming feast day, which we are obliged to attend. And
the missal has all that too. Yeah, the missal.
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah. So then there's the state of Hawaii. Even though they're part of the United States, they're actually a diocese that belongs to the South Pacific. So theirs may be they're a little different also. So it all has to do with the liturgical calendar and what the bishops come up with. So I think that's pretty much what I have on these days. Are there any questions about it? You can, and yeah, go ahead.
One of the things, you might be wondering to yourself, well, why